Hey Doug, describe just kind of what you saw from your guys tonight, fighting through that, getting the win, and the intensity that you saw out there on the floor tonight.
Well, the level of physicality, we always want to be the aggressor. We want to bomb first, as I say. That's just how we want to be physical and play the right way. Grab, hold, and control on screens. Make sure that we are, playing the right way for each other, protecting each other, and that type of intensity and competitiveness is what it's all about. That's why I say like these reps for these guys are invaluable because you're not going to get that anywhere. It's an NBA game versus the best players in the world, world champions, and the game gets a little testy, and you just don't get that in your average gym.
Uh, Doug, DeMar obviously hasn't been here a huge chunk of his career, but the time he has spent here, he's been played a meaningful role in the community and on the court. Um, what was it like for you to see the organization and the fans kind of honor him tonight, even though he hasn't played here that many years?
Yeah, one thing about Sacramento is if you're a king, they always love you. And him coming in here from hitting game winners to big games to just the huge shots that he makes and the calmness in those moments. One thing I know about our fans is they appreciate excellence. They appreciate people who go about their job in a really strong, determined way. And that's one thing about him. It didn't matter what day it was of the week. It didn't matter what month it was. He comes to compete every single night. He comes to work every single day. And I told you guys the one that was striking to me the most is we were back to back and we flew in from someplace and he went directly from the plane to get therapy. It was almost 2 in the morning. And that type of commitment is a type of commitment that should be commended. And I know our fans love and show a lot of love for that.
Doug, I know again Demar hasn't been here that long, but Gary has. Just how much did that mean to you to be able to come out
Yeah.
here and do that, and then watch him go out there?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. It was huge. I love that man. He is salt of the earth. He gets all the praise and accolades that should be coming his way. Being here from the very, very beginning. Um, if you know him, you know he's done a lot, been through a lot, and to watch him, get his flowers a little bit is a special, special thing. He's not done, so let's ease up on that. But you know, from working when I was working radio and sitting beside him and listening, and because when you're playing, you don't get to hear him all the time. But even when I took over and started doing TV, part of what I learned from was that fortunately many times I was a player of the game, so I'd go and talk to G-Man, and when I would look over, I'd see this sheet, and the sheet was immaculate. It had all the names and all these things. So when it was my turn, I didn't know what to do, so I just copied, remember what I saw G-Man do, and it worked out because he's a pro's pro, man. So to watch him in that moment is spectacular. And thank you for everybody who gives him love because he deserves all love.
DC, going back to the summertime, I remember hearing Devin talk a lot about how much work he put in individually into the point guard position, learning that position at the NBA level, working with his dad on it. It seems to me he's made tremendous strides on both ends at the point guard position. What have you seen from him and the steps that he's taken, especially over the last month?
Just first of all, his coachability is high. When I'm talking to him, he's locked in. When we're going through the scout, I look up and he has eye contact. He's like locked in. Um, Learning that position is difficult. It's the hardest position in the hardest game at the highest level in the world. And just watching him continue to go down the path, for him, it starts on the defensive end. But you can see he can score the ball, he has gravity, all those different things. But when he is locked in on the defensive end, he has a physicality about him and a toughness about him. He can rebound the basketball. I believe he ended up with 9 tonight, 4 of them on the offensive end. I mean, coming from the guard position, that's huge. So The confidence continues to grow, and I commend him for staying the course and be ready when the time presented itself for him to garner larger amounts of minutes. And that's about taking care of your body. That's about studying. That's about making sure that you're doing a lot of things. There's still learning for him in a lot of different areas, but we have to put respect on his name for the things that he's doing. Super proud of him for him for that.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Doug.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good night.